The first impression is oftentimes the most important. While a game may sometimes have only one chance to wow you with its premise and presentation, many will at least give the first level a shot. But not every game is interested in gently guiding the player along. Some will use their opening levels to crush your spirit immediately. Let's take a look at such opening levels in video games and what made them so rough. The Village of Cursed Blossoms, Neo 2. The first main story missions seem innocent enough, with a few Gaki to eliminate, but eventually a massive boss-like Gozuki appears. You could deal with it or run away. The latter is pretty much needed though, since it slaughters you almost instantly. Things only get slightly easier from there, as you venture to the yokai realm with all of its hazards, face off against various other yokai and humans, and finally battle a Mizuki, which is far from a pushover. Central Yanam, Bloodborne. The death at Ayasefka's clinic notwithstanding, your first real opening level in Bloodborne is Central Yanam. Crazed huntsmen, rabid dogs, and the large huntsman's minions are all around, wanting to get a piece of you, and that's before fighting the Scourge beasts. It's a fight for survival that ultimately culminates in a battle against the cleric beast with its overwhelming strength and reach. Hilariously, this isn't even the first real test for players, as Father Gascoigne awaits in the very next area. Sand Wilderness, Mega Man Zero 2. Mega Man Zero's first level felt like the developer flirting with a higher difficulty, but still having some sympathy for its players from the outset. Mega Man Zero 2's Sand Wilderness does away with that entirely, giving you a weary Zero with no element chips and the only Buster Shot and Z-Saber to fight with. You need to keep moving forward, since Neo Arcadia's gunners constantly spawn from behind, tackle new foes and pitfall hazards, and defeat not one but two Golem-type E mid-bosses en route to the Mega Scorpia boss. The annoying checkpoints don't help either. Tutorial Stage, Driver. At the time, Driver was brilliant, instilling a compelling narrative into a racing game. The first mission was a tutorial of sorts, and required players to prove their skills to the Castaldi. However, you were immediately tasked with pulling off maneuvers like a 180, 360, slalom, reverse 180, and so on without any help. To say that this discouraged a fair number of people from experiencing the rest of the game would be an understatement. Death Star Attack, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. The Star Wars Rogue Squadron series always had a flair for the cinematic, while immediately thrusting you into the action. Rogue Leader's first mission, for example, sends you into the Death Star battle in A New Hope. No time to learn the controls or anything, just start destroying turrets and hunting TIE fighters. Things aren't too rough despite this, but then you get to the classic trench run and have to avoid obstacles at high speeds. There's no Darth Vader around to spice things up, but it's still no walk in the park. Level 1, Contra. Konami's run-and-gun platformer is still a classic by today's standards, but that first level does not mess around. Constantly respawning enemies, turrets, super small projectiles that could be tough to spot, platforming and one-hit kills all contributed to making your life miserable. It's short, but still a very accurate taste of the more difficult challenges to come. Dwelling, Spelunky 2. Due to the randomly generated nature of Spelunky, you can never really be sure what kind of threats await, even in the opening zone. The Dwelling in Spelunky 2 is a good example, with its arrow traps and spike pits, not to mention the enemies hiding in faces. Of course, you also have to watch out for snakes, bats, horned lizards, skeletons, and much more. And if you die, then the walls begin shifting again, making it impossible to learn the layout and prepare yourself. It's once more into the abyss, hoping you don't mess up. Opening level, Another World. Old school adventure games were infamous for their insta-death scenarios, but Another World took this to another level. In the first level itself, you can die to a slug scratching your leg, failing to outrun the giant beast chasing you, and even getting crushed by a falling rock. Many more miserable trial and error sequences await, and you'll either curse your lack of knowledge or the controls for the impending deaths. Chapter 1: Ikaruga. Treasure's classic shoot-'em-up was fairly innovative for its time, upending the standard shooting and bullet hell formula by introducing a polarity mechanic. This allowed for absorbing enemy bullets of the same color. Got it? Good, because Chapter 1 put that to the test immediately. It starts out innocently enough with a few waves of fodder before throwing in bigger foes, mixing up the colors, and populating your screen with bullets. Also, don't forget to charge up your homing laser by matching your polarity with bullets of the same color if you want to survive. Northern Undead Asylum: Dark Souls. For veterans of the series, many of the tricks employed in the Northern Undead Asylum feel so familiar as to be trivial. However, for many who had never bothered with Demon Souls at the time, Dark Souls was still a complete mystery. So, when the Asylum demon crashed in while you still only had a sword hilt, it felt like a cruel joke. The real key was navigating to the door on the side and acquiring some actual weapons, but you weren't safe yet. A boulder trap, hollows, and an undead soldier barred the way forward, challenging you to learn the combat system before being thrust back into battle against the Asylum demon. It was trial by fire, as one had to adapt to the game's various quirks before venturing forth. Forest Follies: Cuphead. Though many will remember their first boss fights and deaths in Cuphead, the first real level, Forest Follies, was equally rough. As one of the few run-and-gun stages in the game, it sees the player venturing through a field and making their way through the titular forest. Sounds simple on paper, until you're assailed by deadly daisies from nearly every direction from the start. Murderous mushrooms and immortal bothersome blueberries also appear, along with spiky bulbs and aggravating acorns. And it's not long before you're having to platform across sections while managing all of these threats. While not the toughest part of the game by a wide margin, it will force you to quickly hone your skills and adapt to the mechanics, or die trying. The Way of the Ninja: Ninja Gaiden. Even with its history of tough NES titles, nothing could prepare fans for the 2004 Ninja Gaiden. Its first level would assail you with foes, and much like Ryu, they were fast, agile, and can slice you up in a hurry. Just when you get a hang of the various combos though, you face off against the first boss, Master Mirai. He'll block your attacks, toss you about, and generally show no mercy. If you succeed, then congratulations, you've passed the tutorial. Good luck with the rest of the game. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.